محمد وآل محمد صلوات. اللهم صل على Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. To all my brothers and sisters in multi-purpose room, we'll be starting in a couple of minutes. Please come in the main hall.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين. قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم. قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون. وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون. وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون. أأتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغن عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون. إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين. إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون. قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين. وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين. إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون. يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون. ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون. وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون. وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون. وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وأعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون. سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون. وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون. والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم. والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم. لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون. وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون. وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين. وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون. وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين. وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين. ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين. ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون. فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون. ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون. قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون. إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون. فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره ننكسه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم ير الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون اللهم
صل على Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Surah Yasin was recited and Surah Fatiha is requested for the following marhumins. Marhum Mahmud Yusuf Khalfan, Marhuma Sikina Mahmud Yusuf Khalfan, Marhuma Sikina Yusuf Khalfan, all marhumins of Khalfan family, marhumins of MM Jafar family, marhumins of Akbar Ali Hassan Ganji family, marhumins of Ghulam Ali Mirali and family, and كل أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات. سورة المباركة الفاتحة.
صلوات على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
आज रुखसत हो रही है तुमसे ज़हरा या अली आज रुखसत हो रही है تم سے زہرا یا
علی
پردہ شب میں میری میت اٹھانا یا علی آج رخصت ہو رہی ہے تم سے زہرا یا علی آج رخصت ہو رہی ہے تم سے زہرا
یا علی
پس لیا توڑی گئی کہ سے یہ بتلاؤں گی میں حشر کے میدان میں بھی اس حال میں آؤں گی میں ہاتھ پہلو سے نہ تم میں راحت آنا یا علی آج رخصت ہو رہی ہے تم سے زہرا یا علی آج رخصت ہو رہی ہے تم سے زہرا یا علی کہتی ہے زینب یہ مجھ سے دیکھ کر چہرہ میرا آپ کے رخسار پر یہ نیل ہے کیسا پرا میں نے کھایا ہے تماچا مت بتانا یا علی آج رخصت ہو رہی ہے تم سے زہرا یا علی آج رخصت ہو رہی ہے تم سے زہرا یا علی تازیانے کی اذیت کا اٹھانا ایک طرف وہ تماچے قتل محسن در جلانا ایک طرف سب سے مشکل تھا مگر در بار جانا یا علی آج رخصت ہو رہی ہے تم سے زہرا یا علی آج رخصت ہو رہی ہے تم سے زہرا یا علی جب سے آئی ہوں پلٹ کر فکر ہے مجھ کو یہی میں تو پردے میں گئی پھر بھی ضعیفہ ہو گئی بیریدہ دربار ہے زینب کو جانا یا علی آج رخصت ہو رہی ہے تم سے زہرا یا علی آج رخصت ہو رہی ہے تم سے زہرا یا علی جب میری تلقین پر نہ یاد کر لینا ذرا در کے گرنے سے میرا بازو بھی ہے ٹوٹا ہوا میرے شانوں کو ذرا دی ہلانا یا علی آج رخصت ہو رہی ہے تم سے زہرا یا علی آج رخصت ہو رہی ہے تم سے زہرا یا علی چاہے آ جائے قیامت مجھ سے یہ وعدہ کرو جب تلک مولا میرے شبیر کی مرضی نہ ہو تب تلک میرا جنازہ مت اٹھانا یا علی آج رخصت ہو رہی ہے تم سے زہرا یا علی آج رخصت ہو رہی ہے تم سے زہرا یا علی کربلا میں جب میرے مظلوم پر کھنجر
چلے
پیاس کے عالم میں وہ غازی کو جب آواز دے میں بھی آؤں گی وہاں پر تم بھی آنا
یا
یا
علی
آج رخصت ہو رہی ہے
تم سے زہرا یا علی
آج رخصت ہو رہی ہے
تم سے زہرا یا علی
سلوات
کلام کے چند اشعار آپ کی سماعت کی نظر پیش کرنا چاہوں گا. ایک اور صلوات پڑھ دیجیے محمد وآل محمد. سیدہ طاہرہ رازیہ مرضیہ سیدہ طاہرہ رازیہ مرضیہ ہر ایک ماتمی کے لبوں پر دعا ہے در سیدہ پر در سیدہ پر سب مل کے پڑھے سیدہ طاہرہ رازیہ مرضیہ وہ جو مانگتے ہیں انہیں مل رہا ہے در سیدہ پر در سیدہ پر سیدہ طاہرہ رازیہ ادب اور تعظیم کی حد ہے دیکھو یہ فضا سے سن لو زمانے کے لوگوں کہ جبریل بھی سر جھکائے کھڑا ہے در سیدہ پر در سیدہ پر سیدہ طاہرہ رازیہ کبھی بھی نہ دنیا کے آگے جھکے گا یہ اونچا رہے گا اٹھا ہی رہے گا یہ سر میں نے جب سے جھکایا ہوا ہے در سیدہ پر در سیدہ پر بلندہ سے سیدہ طاہرہ رازیہ فرشتہ جو دنیا کو دیتا ہے روٹی قسم سیدہ کی قسم مرتضیٰ کی وہ اپنے لیے روٹی لینے چلا ہے در سیدہ پر در سیدہ پر سیدہ طاہرہ رازیہ. اور مکتا پیش کر رہا ہوں. کریم ارسلان نازمی سر اٹھاؤ زمانے سے کہہ دو نہ تم خوف کھاؤ عزادار ہے اپنا رتبہ بڑا ہے در سیدہ
درے سیدہ پر سیدہ طاہرہ رازیہ مرضیہ ہر ایک ماتمی کے لبوں پر دعا ہے در سیدہ پر وہ جو مانگتے ہیں انہیں مل رہا ہے در سیدہ پر.
بر محمد و آل محمد بلند تر سلام. ایک اور صلوات پر جی محمد و آل محمد.
مقتل میں گر رہا ہے مقتل میں گر رہا ہے سنبھالو حسین کو یا فاطمہ رضا میں چھپا لو حسین کو یا فاطمہ رضا میں چھپا لو حسین کو پیوست ہے غریب کے پہلو میں مچھیاں اور تم کو بھی اٹھنے دیتی نہیں ٹوٹی پسلیاں لے کر علی کا نام لے کر علی کا نام اٹھا لو حسین کو یا فاطمہ رضا میں چھپا لو حسین کو اور دیوار و در کے بیچ جو ارمان رہ گئے رکھی ہوئی تھی دل میں جو محسن کے واسطے وہ لوریاں بھی آج وہ لوریاں بھی آج سنا لو حسین کو یا فاطمہ رضا میں چھپا لو حسین کو 16 پہر کی پیاس ہے اور ہے لبوں پہ دم دے کر غریب بیٹے کو عباس کی قسم پانی اگر ملے پانی اگر ملے تو پلا لو حسین کو یا فاطمہ رضا میں چھپا لو حسین کو شہر کی غریب بیٹی کے ارمان کی طرح اور گودی میں لیتی تیسری شابان کی طرح کچھ دیر ہو سکے تو سلا لو حسین کو یا فاطمہ رضا میں چھپا لو حسین کو اور زینب سزائے دیتی ہے اے بے قرار ماں زخموں کو مل کے باندھے گی حیدر کی بیٹیاں خیمے میں ایک بار خیمے میں ایک بار بلا لو حسین کو یا فاطمہ ردا میں چھپا لو حسین کو مقتل میں گرا سنبھالو حسین کو یا فاطمہ ردا میں چھپا لو حسین کو برائے تاجیل ظہور امام زمان بزرگتر صلوات
Reminder for all the parents who are in multipurpose room, please bring your children in now. So, and also those who are wishing to come in, please do come now so that we minimize the movement when the majlis is going on. Just a few programming reminders. Tomorrow, inshallah, the program will begin at 7:30 p.m. with Salatul Isha. We don't have Niyaz tomorrow, so after Salah, we'll continue with the program. Will start at 7:30. On Tuesday, again, the program will start at 7 p.m. Again, we'll start with Salatul Isha, followed by Niyaz, and then the program. That's the night of the Wafat. Also, a reminder this Friday, we have the session with the American Lung Association regarding the harms and more information on vaping. That will be at 7 p.m. We will also have dinner on that day. So for all those coming, and we do especially to our youths and everybody else, it's a very informative session. Please also, if you're coming, also so that we can know how many people to arrange for, send an email at rsvp@sijpa.org. Let us all recite 5 times Ayyam and Yujibu for all those who are sick, for the safety of the Muslims, for the safety of our holy places, and all those in need of du'as. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء 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 اللهم صل على with a loud salawat also, please do come forward. We can fill the spaces. We have a lot of spaces in the front, on my left here, on my right, on your left. Please, Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
طبیعت میری ٹھیک نہیں ہے، مولا کے سہارے پہ پڑھ رہا ہوں جیسے یہ سب ازادار پڑھ رہے تھے. دعا کیجیے میرے لیے انشاءاللہ. رحم اللہ من قرأ سورۃ المبارکۃ الفاتحہ. بسم اللہ. صراط المستقیم صراط الذین انعمت علیہم غیر المغضوب علیہم ولا الضالین. One more Fatiha for your marhumin, all the shuhada around the world. Al-Fatiha. بسم الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وفوضوا أمري إلى الله إن الله بصير بالعباد ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل ونعم المولى ونعم النصير. والصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على الرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد المحمود الأحمد الذي سمي في السماء بأحمد وفي الأرض بأبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين المنتجبين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. وقل رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. أما بعد، قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتاب الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، إنا أعطيناك الكوثر. صدق الله العلي العظيم. زينوا مجالسكم بالصلوات على محمد وآل محمد. My respected elders, brothers and sisters in Iman, Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Question: who is Fatimah al-Zahra in this dunya? Keep this in your mind, inshallah, we'll return to it. We're told there's a moment in time where As ibn Wa'il, the father of Amr ibn As, he is in the vicinity of the masjid, he sees Rasulullah. When he sees Rasulullah, at that point they're having a conversation. When they're having a conversation, the tribesmen of Arabia are looking at this scene. They are against Rasulullah. When they're against Rasulullah, they're saying, As is one of our guys. As is one of our men. How is he talking to the orphan child, Muhammad? At that point in time, the conversation ensued. When the conversation ensued and continued, after the conversation completed, Rasulullah went his way and As went his way. When As went his own way, the tribesmen of Mecca said, As, hold on 1 second, stop, come here, come here. He said, at that point in time, he said, what is it? He came towards them. They said, hello, hi, whatever their way of greeting was. They greeted each other. When they greeted, he said, who is you just talking to right now? Who are you just talking to? At that point in time, he said, I was talking to, because they want to see. They know which side he's on, or is he switching sides? You know, this is an old concept. Politics is an old game. It's not new. This idea that was coming forward, they said, is this a guy? I thought he was one of our men. He's talking to the enemy, according to them. I said, who are you just talking to? He said, oh, that one. I was just speaking to the one who is Abtar. Abtar referring to a derogatory term, a negative term for someone an animal that is tailless. An animal such as a donkey or horse that does not have a tail. What was he alluding to? A derogatory term. He was saying that this is someone who does not have a male heir. He does not have a child who's a male. At that point in time, they laughed, the tribesmen laughed, As ibn Wa'il laughed, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't laugh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you hurt the heart of my Habib, I will respond to you. At that point in time, Surah Kawthar was revealed. Surah Kawthar is one of the 3 surahs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that directly from beginning to end, the person Allah is speaking to is Rasulullah. This Kawthar, according to the ulama and the scholars, Kawthar is a spring in Jannah, a water body in Jannah, and also that is the lineage of the progeny of Fatimah al-Zahra salamullahi alayha. Sallu ala Muhammad. Tonight I want to cover some of the important topics. Many people ask today, why is this so important? Why is Ayyam Fatimiyah so important? Why must we commemorate the Lady of Light? Is this something against disunity or not? We'll answer all these questions in the subsequent night. Remember, uniformity is not equal to conformity. Remember this point. Our ulama have been very clear on this matter, that with respect to the Ahlul Bayt, there is no compromise. They are Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, because what happens? You and I, as followers of Ahlul Bayt, there was a time where we were in abundance. Today, we're 15-20%. If I don't tell my children what happened, I'll become 0%. We'll get to that in a moment, and we'll get to that in subsequent nights. Tonight, I want to understand from a brief moment, who is Fatimah al-Zahra? Who is this great personality? What does her name mean? How many children did Rasulullah have? Because many people ask this question, and there's confusion even in our communities on this question. How can we learn from Fatimah al-Zahra in this dunya? As a mother, as a daughter in particular. What does she teach us? And how is it so vital in terms of today's world for fathers to develop a strong relationship with daughters? And if this doesn't happen, what are the results? And I want to look at what have the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam said with respect to the position of Fatimah al-Zahra and how vital it is in Islam. And if you neglect it, what are the repercussions? And I want to draw our attention to the connection between Fatimah al-Zahra and Karbala and Sham. This is our discussion for tonight, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. If you recall from last night, I mentioned that 13 Noors Anwar of the Ahlul Bayt were passing from the line of Adam all the way up to Khatam, all the way up to Rasulullah. 13 Noors, 13 lights, the first creation of Allah, the Noor of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. One after the other, it's passing from Adam to Nuh to Isa to Musa, all the way down to Abdul Muttalib. Not Khatam yet, till Abdul Muttalib. But then that Noor, it went to Abu Talib. 13 Anwar, 13 lights go to Abu Talib. One Noor that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya Muhammad, you have to come to me to get it. That is the Noor of Fatima al-Zahra. Our ulama, our scholars say Fatima, it comes from what? What does it mean? It means Fatima. It comes from the root word Fatima. Fatima meaning what? Fatima meaning one who puts a stop to something. One who puts an end to something. If we looked at this definition, we would not know what it means entirely. This is why we need the Quran and the Ahlul Bayt. This is why we need the Ahlul Bayt alayhi to explain to us what is the meaning of these words. What is the weight of these terms? What is the weight of these names? Because names have an impact on people. If I give my name, if my children a name of Ali or Fatima or Hassan or Hussein, has an impact on the child. The ulama say this, not me. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam would name his children one after the other. Ali Akbar, Ali Awsat, Ali Asghar, one after the other. They said, Ya Hussein, you name all of them Ali. Why don't you pick something else? He said, if I had 1,000 sons, I would name them all Ali. Allahu Akbar. Never forget this Ali. This name, the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, there's a power within these names. We're told when As ibn Wa'il says this, Rasulullah is hurt by it. And the Quran sends Surah Kawthar. Inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we will give you that abundant progeny. That progeny is the progeny of Fatimah al-Zahra. The progeny of Rasulullah through Fatimah al-Zahra. It's not to be taken lightly. I say this because from a young age, if you remember, I told you that Rasulullah would come bloodied, riddled, come back from Ta'if for tabligh, and he was filled with blood. And Fatimah al-Zahra would wipe off all the blood and clean him. I told you about that. I told you about Ta'if. I told you about what Abu Jahl through the intestine. I told you that. Fatimah al-Zahra has been a defender of Risala from the beginning and a defender of Imama from the beginning. The first defender of Risala and Imama is Fatimah al-Zahra. Do not take it lightly. 18 years, don't think it's a small thing. It's a huge thing. But I say this in our world today because we live in a world where we have some challenges we're facing. Because this member of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, Rasulullah used to give lectures that were not very long. 20 minutes at the most. 15 minutes. Sometimes much shorter than this. Why? Because he would give people a message. And he would want that impact to stay in their minds and their hearts. So he would give them practical solutions. What's a practical solution? Remember the concept of a drift in your life. Do you know what a drift is? If I go to the sea or the ocean and I go and stand and float in the ocean, you go to the Atlantic near you, you go to the Bahamas, go to the Pacific, you go there and you float in the water. Islam says it's highly recommended to teach your children to swim, as you know. Swimming, horse riding, and archery, highly recommended in Islam. So you're in the body of water. What if you're floating? You're not swimming in any direction. Does this water take you in a particular direction? Whether you like it or not, whether you realize it or not, that water will take you somewhere. Our society is like an ocean with a drift. In societies, if I look at the oceans, if I look at the Caribbean, if I look at the Bahamas, if I look at Silicon Valley, if I look at Europe, if I look at Australia, if I look at Africa, if I look at Asia, every place has a drift. I ask the people who've been to the Bahamas, what's the drift? Take it easy, relax. Silicon Valley, what is it? Entrepreneurship. Build a company, start up, build it, do it. And every place has a particular ethos. You know, religion, if you remember, religion has an impact based on where you are in America. You know this? The Northeast block has a certain relationship with religion. The Midwest has a certain relationship with religion in America. The South, you know what it's called? The Bible Belt. Why? Virginia to Texas, Bible Belt. West Coast, it has a certain relationship with religion, whether you and I realize it or not. Our youth growing up in this environment, this society, they are feeling the drift of the society, whether you realize it or not. Our job is to teach our children to have good principles so they are successful in this dunya and the akhirah, inshallah. How so? There are two books that I recommend to the parents here, especially those fathers who have daughters, with respect to developing a relationship with your child. Because if you don't do this, this can cause many challenges in your life. The first is strong fathers, strong daughters. This is a book by a psychiatrist, a doctor by the name of Meg Meeker. She's looked at this question and she said that in our modern world, we're facing a challenge. What's that challenge? Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. She says there's problems, such as we are having a movement. This is the positive side. She said in our world, we are having a movement towards women's rights. She said on one side, this is good because there are challenges. For example, there's a wage inequality. Men make more than women, for example. She said, but there's a challenge we're facing. What's the challenge? The challenge we're saying is we are condemning men to the point that we are not balancing the equation. So we're saying men are the problem. Rather, we should say men are part of the solution, as are women. It should be a balanced equation. So many fathers are not having those conversations with their daughters that they should be having. Why? Because the drift of our society, not my words, Dr. Meg Meeker's words, the drift of our society is pushing women towards materialism. Everything is based on how you look, the clothes you wear, how attractive you are. And you think this doesn't impact our children? I tell you with my hand on my heart, it impacts our children. The conversations I've had on this side of the ocean, the other side of the ocean, up north, wherever. The world is a global village now. It's not only in these parts of the world. It's in the east and it's in the west. What do we do? Meg Meeker says, develop a relationship, especially fathers, develop a strong relationship with your daughters. Amir al-Mu'mineen is sitting with his daughter Zainab, salamullahi alayhi. My daughter Zainab. Say one. Says one. At that point in time, she said, my daughter Zainab, say two. She's quiet. Allahu Akbar. The tarbiyah of Ahlul Bayt. One is ilm, knowledge. One is tarbiyah, nurturing. This nurturing is missing. She remains quiet. Amir al-Mu'min says, my daughter Zainab, say two. She looks at her father. She's shy. She's modest. She has haya. This is another thing. Haya, how do you translate it? I don't know. You need many words to translate haya. He says, my father, I can't. How can the heart which has said one say two? Referring to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This was the concept of Tawheed in the house of the Ahlul Bayt. Allahu Akbar. Further than this, at that point in time, she says to my father, Zainab alayhi salam says to Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, my father, do you love us? Do you love us? He says, yes, of course, you are the light of my eye. You're the fruit of my heart. Zainab, you're my daughter. I love you. She says, my father, Baba, love is only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, then what should I do? What should I say? I have affection for you. I care for you. What's the answer? He says, love is only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Compassion is for us. Care is for us. But love is exclusively for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meg Meeker, the researcher, says, looking at this world, this society, the drift is going in a way where women are told that everything that you are based on, your value in society, is based on how you look. And men are not speaking up. Dr. Meg Meeker says men are not speaking up because they're afraid that they will be labeled. They're afraid they'll be labeled as someone who is an aggressive parent. By the way, someone who is following this track and doing domestic abuse, a man on a woman, is not following the path of Ahlul Bayt. A Haidari can never do this. Someone else can do this. But someone who's a follower of Ahlul Bayt, especially Ayyam and Fatimiyah, you should know that someone who's a Haidari can never lift a hand on a woman. At the same time, we must understand what is the principle, what is the importance, what is it that fathers should build a relationship with their mothers. In the second book, which I have mentioned many times, is a book called American Girls by Nancy Jo Sales, where she has said, and she has focused, and she has said, in our world today, and in America today, there's a shift. What's that shift? Before, daughters used to dress like their mothers. Now it's opposite. Now, today, in our world, mothers dress like the daughters. I say this because the nature of a drift in society, the ocean is such, it will take you one way, and you may not even know where you are. So I tell my youth, my sisters especially, and my brothers, when you see the drift of society taking you in one direction, and if it's the wrong direction, don't go with the drift. Stop and swim the other way. This swimming the other way will help you in this dunya and in the akhirah. Because you and I must develop this relationship. The Ahlul Bayt give us solutions to some of our biggest problems in life. Like what? Like which solutions? Like which problems we're facing? We're told there's a moment in time, never forget Khaybar, huh? My dear brothers and sisters, Khaybar will come up again and again. Khaybar, not only in the sense of Khaybar, in terms of what happened at Khaybar, what happened after Khaybar, we'll realize how pivotal and important Khaybar is. When Khaybar happened, all the Muslims, they had no solution. There was different strategies and different wars. In the strategy of Badr, there was one. In the battle of Badr, there was one strategy. Uhud, another. Rasulullah told the people who were the archers, stay there, don't move. They didn't stay there. The Khandak, they dug a trench or a moat. As time progressed, in the battle of Khaybar, there was no strategy except Ali ibn Abi Talib. The only strategy the Muslims had was Ali ibn Abi Talib. 39 days, 40 days, Rasulullah had to say, نادي عليا منهر العجائب تجده عون لك في النوائب كل هم وغم سيعجل بعزمتك يا الله بنبوتك يا محمد بولايتك يا علي يا علي يا علي صلى على محمد يا علي يا علي يا علي يا علي يا That is صلى على محمد. I want to share with you what happened after Khaybar. After Khaybar, after Amir al-Mu'mineen, he takes and he wins Khaybar and lifts the door of Khaybar. The Muslims, they began to take the Mal Ghanimat. You know, the Baytul Mal, the treasury of the people, they went towards it. Everyone went. Everyone went and came. And everyone came back to Medina. When they came back to Medina, they had prizes with them. They had wealth with them. They had money with them. They had property with them. They had shields with them, swords with them. All the money you can think of, they had it with them. And they came back. Fatimah az-Zahra is seeing this scene, that the people are bringing back wealth to their families. I brought this, I brought this. And who knows who's taking credit for what. They're all saying that I've got this for my wife. Look at the alignment of Fatimah az-Zahra and Amir al-Mu'mineen. Allahu Akbar. Rasulullah asks Fatimah and Amir al-Mu'mineen, he asks Ali, Ya Ali, you want to marry Fatimah? What do you have? At that point in time, he says, Ya Rasulullah, I have a simple life, a humble life. You know this. He says, all I have is a shield, a sword, a horse, and some say a ring. He said, Ya Ali, as for the sword, Islam needs it, keep it. As for the horse, you need it for defend Islam. The shield, you have no need for the shield, but your enemy needs the shield. He said, go sell it. He goes and sells it. He comes back, marries Fatimah az-Zahra for a small amount, 500 dirham. At that point in time, all the people are coming back from Khaybar. When they come back from Khaybar, do you know what happens? Amir al-Mu'mineen, who is Fatih Khaybar, he is the one who brought victory to the Muslims. He comes empty-handed. Allahu Akbar. Fatimah az-Zahra sees her husband empty-handed. Allahu Akbar. Amir al-Mu'mineen has given victory to the Muslims, and what is going through his heart? At that point in time, she looks at her husband, she says, Ya Ali, how was Khaybar? He said, we brought victory. Allah gave us victory. At that point in time, she looked and she said, Yeah, Imam Ali says, Fatima, I was coming back from Khaybar and I passed by Masjid al-Quba. Masjid al-Quba at that time was where the poor and the orphans of Medina lived. You know, those people, Ashab al-Sufa was another area. There were these certain areas in Medina where the poor used to live. You know, Abu Huraira, he used to live in, he was part of Ashab al-Sufa. The rulers saw him, they said, you want a job, we'll give you a job, just give a hadith, come here. Rasulullah used to help those people. Amir al-Mu'mineen passed by Quba, Masjid al-Quba, and he noticed there were the widows there. Why? Because he knew the widows, they don't have any man in their family who has gone to war and brought something back. At that point, Amir al-Mu'mineen, he distributed everything he had to the women and the orphans there in Masjid al-Quba. He said, Fatima, I passed by Quba, I saw the orphans, I saw the women, I couldn't take it. I remembered what Rasulullah would do. I took whatever I had and I gave it to the orphan. Fatimah az-Zahra, she went straight into sujood, into sajda towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She said, my husband, what a gift, what an honor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you got a gift from Allah and you returned it before you even got home. Allahu. This is the akhlaq of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim wassalam. These are the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim wassalam. So you and I can understand who these great personalities are. Furthermore, I will complete the tradition that I mentioned the night before. You remember on Yawm al-Qiyamah, it's a long tradition, I'm breaking it up for you. On the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, Ya ahla mahshar ghuddu absarakum. O people of the court of the day of judgment, lower your gaze. Why? Because Fatima az-Zahra enters into the court. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Fatima, whoever is your Shia, take them and take them into Jannah with you. The hadith from Imam Baqir doesn't end there. Because Imam Baqir was asked by the Shia there, He said, Imam, they said, Imam, can you tell us what will be our manzila, what will be our status on Yawm al-Qiyamah? He goes further. He says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, Fatima, whoever has given someone food in your name, pick them. Allahu Akbar. He said, Ya Allah, what else? He said, Fatima, whoever has clothed someone, given clothes in your name, select them, pick them. Allahu Akbar. Goes further. He says, Ya Allah, what else? What else? He says, Fatima, whoever has given water to anyone in your name, put them aside, pull them aside. Point them aside, put them on the side. Direct them in one direction with your finger. Point them away. He said, what else? Whoever has given anyone shelter in your name, put them to the side. Why this ma'tam? Why this recitation? Why this niyaz? Why this recitation? We have authentic traditions from the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam that if someone recites 2 lines, 1 couplet of poetry in honor of Ahlul Bayt and makes 50 people cry, فَهُوَ fil Jannah. That person's in Jannah. It's not some cultural aspect that we recite Musibah and recite the Shara. The Imam doesn't stop there. Imam Sadiq says, no, not 50. 40 people cry, فَهُوَ fil Jannah. That person's in Jannah. He continues. He says, no, not 40, 30. فَهُوَ fil Jannah. He says 20, 10, 1 person. He says if someone makes someone make a sad face, that person is in Jannah. Allahu Akbar. It's not something small, something massive, something huge. Further than this, these tears speak on the day of judgment. But I want to give one more nasiha, one more gift to you and I on this night. Because Fatimah al-Zahra is that personality who can be the basis of your shafa'ah and my shafa'ah on Yawm al-Qiyamah. How? There is a tradition from the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam that says very clearly, authentic tradition, Imam al-Askari Islam, that the Imam alayhimus salam says that we, the Imams of Ahlul Bayt, are a hujjah on the people. And our grandmother Fatimah al-Zahra is a hujjah over us. وَجَدَّتُنَا فَاطِمَةَ حُجَّةً عَلَيْنَا. Allahu Akbar. But we sometimes go over this. Why? We sometimes think this is something to just glance over. Do you know what hujjah means? Hujjah typically in English we translate as proof. This is not a sufficient evidence. This is not a sufficient translation. Why? Because hujjah, proof. If I ask the youth, he tells me, what does that really mean? There's a big philosophical argument behind this, and I want to conclude that for you and I so we understand what is the answer. There's 2 things. There are those things that are majhul and ma'loom. Majhul and ma'loom. What does this mean? It's a very sophisticated word for a very simple concept. Ma'loom is that thing that if I tell you it, you know what it looks like, it comes to your mind, you know exactly what it looks like. For example, what? For example, I tell you I tell you a horse. If I tell you a horse, the image of a horse comes in your mind, you know what it looks like because you've seen it, it's very clear, it's ma'loom. There's something called majhul. Majhul is what? Majhul is something that I know it exists, but I don't know what it looks like. What's an example? Jinn. The Quran says there are jinn. It's very clear in the Quran, but do I know what it looks like? If you know what it looks like, I don't know what to say to you. But many people, we don't know. And on Yawm al-Qiyamah, we'll see what it looks like. But right now, we don't know. So the thing that converts majhul into ma'loom, the thing that converts the jinn into the horse for us, for example, that is what is a hujjah. The Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam are a hujjah for you and I in this sense. Rasulullah is there in the city one day. What's happening? He's sitting in the city, and when he's in the city, he's in the bazaar. You know, human nature, as I mentioned to you in the past, fitrah doesn't change. Human nature, the actors change. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen says in his wasiyah to his son, they say Imam Hassan or Muhammad Hanafiya, he says, my son study history. Study it. Why? He said, I studied history as if it was, I had walked among the ruins of past civilizations. Amir al-Mu'mineen says this. Because history repeats itself. The actors change. At that point in time, when we look at what has happened in our society, you begin to notice with respect to the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, certain things become very crystal clear for you and I. Who are the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam? Where are they taking us? Because you know, you and I, if we try to get directly to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we'll go here and there. The Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam hold our hands and take us directly to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, that's why the connection is so important. Hujjat. What does Hujjat mean? Hujjah means because Rasulullah is in Medina. What happened in Medina? There's a man, the fitrah doesn't change. How does the fitrah not change? You know, today everyone wants a nice car. What was the nice car of that time? It was a horse. In fact, a red horse. What's the logo of Ferrari today? It's a horse. And everyone wants the red Ferrari, right? Fitrah doesn't change. Same thing at that time. This man was in Medina, he wanted to sell his horse. Rasulullah saw it. As you know, he was a very good businessman, the most honest, Sadiq and Ameen. They saw him. He said, it's a nice horse. Will you sell it? He said, I'm interested in selling it. They come to an agreement. When they come to an agreement, Rasulullah says, I accept. But I don't have the money on me right now. Let me go back, get the money. When I get the money, then I will come back, give you the money, and you give me the horse. Accepted? Handshake deal. And anywhere, people accept this, yes? When they passed by, when Rasulullah went back, there was a man there. You know, some of the people who had hatred towards Rasulullah, they saw Rasulullah and they saw him walk away and they saw the horse. They saw the man. They said, this horse that you're looking at, that we're looking at, what's the deal with it? He said, it's my horse, but I've just sold it to that man who's walking away. Muhammad. They said, if Muhammad bought it, then it must be special. He said, will you sell it to us? He said, no. We've made an agreement. You know, everyone has a price. He said 2,000 was the arrangement, let's say. He said, we'll give you 2,500. He said, no. 3,000, no. 4,000. By the way, the Banu Umayyah used to do the same thing with Abu Hurairah and the likes, huh? How much do you want? You name your price, we'll change it. You name your price, we'll give it to you. They got up to 5,000, my man began to shake. He said, deal, fine, I sold it to you. Rasulullah comes back. When Rasulullah comes back, he says, here's the money, may I please have the horse? He said, do you have any witnesses? He's asking Sadiq and Ameen Rasulullah, do you have any witnesses? He says, it was an agreement between you and I. You must hold your word. He said, do you have witnesses? He said, no. The same way Amir al-Mu'mineen took that one man to the court, as the ruler of the Muslims, Amir al-Mu'mineen takes the man who's not a Muslim to the court. When he takes him, the judge looks at Ali ibn Abi Talib, he says, Ya Abul Hasan. At that point, Amir al-Mu'mineen looks back at him. He says, don't call me Abul Hasan. Here, I'm a defendant. You call me by my name the same way you call that man. At that point in time, they said, Ya Ali, do you have witnesses? He says, I don't have witnesses. So then we must give the award, we must give the decision to the man. He says, I accept. He walked out. Ali ibn Abi Talib walks out, he accepts. That man says, today I have understood Allah's justice on earth. That I took the leader of Muslims to court and I won against him as a non-Muslim in a Muslim state. Rasulullah the same way, he's saying we had an agreement. He said, do you have witnesses? Rasulullah says, I don't. At that point, Bilal was passing by. When Bilal was passing by, he saw Rasulullah. He said, Ya Rasulullah, you in the bazaar? What is it? He says, Ya Bilal, you know, we had an agreement. Myself and this man had an agreement. And then he turned, he reneged on the agreement. He didn't accept. I brought the money. At that point in time, he says, Ya Rasulullah. Bilal says, Ya Rasulullah, I am your witness. The man was shocked. He says, Muhammad, this man, you know, he was not there at that point in time when we made this agreement. He's acting as your witness. At that point in time, Rasulullah, he saw the Ameen. He looks at Bilal, he says, Bilal, he's saying something, he may have a point. What is your point? How are you my witness? He says, Ya Rasulullah, you told me there is Allah. Did I see Allah? He said, Ya Rasulullah, you told me there is Jannah. Did I see Jannah? He said, Ya Rasulullah, you told me there is a hell. Did I see hell? Ya Rasulullah, you told me everything. I accepted everything. And you're asking me if I accept that you bought this horse from this man? How can it be? At that point in time, the man said, it is true. Muhammad has never lied and will never lie. I must give him the horse. Ya Rasul. These are the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, the generosity of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Develop this relationship with the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam and you will succeed in this dunya and the next. The lesson of this lecture is for the fathers and the mothers to develop a relationship with our children. There are these social media avenues that are going. There are many good things in social media. There's also problems. TikTok and these things, it must be controlled in some capacity. If there's a good level, the lesson from it, very good. If there's not, we must be careful. Who's going to talk about these things in our community? I don't want to get to a point where the parents call me and I'm here to help. But they lose their daughters, they lose their children. It would be a travesty. Because Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam gave everything so you and I can be their Shia. The Ahlul Bayt, as I told you, Sayyid Qazwini's story, the poet says so beautifully with respect to the Ahlul Bayt. Never forget, and you heard it in the poetry that was recited before me, the relationship of Fatimah al-Zahra and Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And the connection and the relationship between Fatimah al-Zahra and the children and the grandchildren of Fatimah al-Zahra. The poet says, मुझको दुनिया में कोई शख्स भी ऐसा न मिला, मुझको दुनिया में कोई शख्स भी ऐसा न मिला जो ये कह सकता हो शब्बीर से मांगा न मिला. मुझको दुनिया में कोई शख्स भी ऐसा न मिला जो ये कह सकता हो शब्बीर से मांगा न मिला. और एक बार उनकी सखावत के मुताबिक मांगे, एक बार उनकी सखावत, जनरॉसिटी, उनकी सखावत के मुताबिक मांगे, ऐसा. और शहने आशूर की शब ऐसे बुझाया था दिया, शहने आशूर की शब ऐसे बुझाया था दिया, ढूंढती रह गई खुद रात अंधेरा. शहने आशूर की शब ऐसे बुझाया था दिया, ढूंढती रह गई खुद रात अंधेरा न मिला. और कम से कम जान है कीमत ये समझ कर आना, कम से कम जान है कीमत ये समझ कर आना, इश्क शब्बीर किसी को कभी सस्ता न मिला. कम से कम जान है कीमत ये समझ कर आना, इश्क शब्बीर किसी को कभी सस्ता न मिला. और दूर दूर थे परचमे अब्बास से जो लोग सिराज, दूर थे परचमे अब्बास से जो लोग सिराज, दिल मिलाने लगे जब हश्र में साया न मिला, दिल मिलाने लगे जब हश्र में साया न मिला. दुरूद भेजिए मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद. Develop this relationship with Fatimah al-Zahra and the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Tonight we commemorate Fatimah al-Zahra through her children. How? Amir al-Mu'mineen, the Musibah and Musaib of Fatimah is very difficult to recite. You have to read it what the books say and you have to control yourself before you recite. It's unbearable. Unbearable. We are told that Fatimah al-Zahra used to cry so much after Rasulullah. Three traditions. Either she died 40 days, or 75 days, or 95 days after Rasulullah. The ulama say 75 to 95 days, we should commemorate the whole time. By the way, these things will benefit you not only in the akhirah, in this dunya as well. Dr. Meg Meeker, who I mentioned earlier, she said daughters, women who have a strong connection to church, mosque, synagogue, they have a stronger connection to God, they have a stronger belief system, and they stay away from many vices. This is a gift for tonight, inshallah. But Fatimah al-Zahra, Allahu Akbar. Amir al-Mu'mineen, Allah asked the heart of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Fatimah al-Zahra used to cry in the day and cry in the night. Do you know what happened? Amir al-Mu'mineen was called by the people of Medina. When he was called by the people of Medina, you know what happened? They said, Ya Ali, tell your wife Fatima for her to cry in the day or cry in the night. Why? He said, Ya Ali, why? Ali says, why? At that point, because when she cries in the day and she cries in the night, we are not able to sleep in Medina. Allahu Akbar. Allah knows how Ali ibn Abi Talib went to his wife and said, Fatima, the people of Medina have said something. Imam Ali says to Fatima, Fatima says, what is it? They say, Fatima, do not cry both in the day and both in the night. Cry in the day or the night because the people of Medina are not able to sleep. Fatimah al-Zahra began to cry. She said, صُبَّتْ عَلَيَّ مَصَائِبٌ لَوْ أَنَّهَا صُبَّتْ عَلَى الْأَيَّامِ سِرْنَ لَيَالِيَا. My father, Baba Jan, after you, see what happened to Fatima, see what happened to your daughter. That if the days, the calamities that fell on the day fell on me, then they would become the dark nights if these calamities fell. At that point, Fatima al-Zahra said, Ya Abul Hasan, my husband, can you do something for me? He says, yes, bint Rasulillah, tell me, what is it? Can you build a house for me where I can cry away from the people? أجركم على الله. Amir al-Mu'mineen built a house. The house was called Baytul Ahzan, the house of sorrows. Fatima al-Zahra would go there. She would cry. She would weep. But Fatima, can I say something to you with my hands together as your Shia? You cried away from the city, but your granddaughter, when they cried, someone struck them on the face. Someone strike them somewhere else. Ajrukum ala Allah. The last narration, we are told 100 years ago, Sayyid Ibrahim al-Damishqi, he was the caretaker of the Haram in Sham, in Damashq. They say in his dream, he saw that water was coming in to the grave of Bibi Sakina. When the water was coming into the grave of Bibi Sakina, he saw this one night. He saw it another night. He saw it a third night. He went to the ulama. He said, I've seen this dream repetitively over the nights. Tell me what I should do. He says that if you've seen it over and over again, you must take it seriously. They went to the grave. They put a curtain on one side. And Sayyid Ibrahim was on the other side. They said, we must look and see his water coming into the grave. And then people who were working there began to dig. When they began to dig at that point, Sayyid Ibrahim al-Damishqi, he says, stop everyone, stop, go away. I have felt the body, we are close to it. At that point they went away. And then they came back later, they made the corrections. When they made the corrections, at that point in time, someone asked Sayyid Ibrahim, Sayyid Ibrahim, can we ask you one question? Final thing. He says, what is it? What do you ask me? He says that when you opened the grave, what did you see? He says, don't ask me what I saw. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله. صلى الله عليك يا أمير المؤمنين. صلى الله عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين. صلى الله عليك يا حسن المجتبى. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. Ya Allah, anyone who has a halal hajat in this night, grant them this hajat. Ya Allah, keep these tears for Fatima al-Zahra and her family as a witness for us on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Allow us to gain the shifa of Fatima al-Zahra on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Allow us to be strong in our relationship with her and her family and her children, to take us through the pool of Kawthar and through Sirat, inshaAllah. Ya Allah, hasten the reappearance of Imam Sahib al-Asri wal-Zaman, and allow us to be amongst his companions when he returns. Ya Zahra, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya ये गुर्बत अली है, ये गुर्बत अली है, ये गुर्बत
علی ہے، مل کے پڑھیں، یہ غربت علی ہے، یہ غربت علی ہے، یہ غربت علی ہے، حق مانگنے یہ غربت علی ہے، یہ علی ہے، آواز علی ہے، یہ غربت علی ہے، یہ غربت علی ہے، یہ غربت علی ہے، ایک کوچے میں پہنچ کر دیکھا ہے مجتبیٰ نے، ظالم نے سرب ماری، کیسے خدا ہی جانے، بنت نبی زمین پر، بنت نبی زمین پر غش کھا کے گر پڑی ہے، یہ غربت علی 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 ہے، ماشاءاللہ، غربت علی ہے، مظلوم کربلا کو یاد آ گئی سکینہ، بیٹی پہ مصطفیٰ کی تلفظ کا ہاتھ اٹھا، پہلو میں مرتضیٰ کی، پہلو میں مرتضیٰ کی تلوار رو پڑی ہے، یہ غربت علی ہے، یہ غربت علی ہے، غربت علی ہے، یہ غربت علی ہے، غربت علی ہے، پہلو بھی ہے شکستہ، ہاتھوں پہ بھی ہے چھالے، ہے آپ کی امانت اب آپ کے حوالے، یہ کہہ کے مرتضیٰ نے، یہ کہہ کے مرتضیٰ نے میت نبی کو دی ہے، یہ غربت علی ہے، یہ غربت، یہ غربت علی ہے، یہ غربت علی ہے، غربت علی ہے، کافی ہے بس یہ فکرہ رونے کو زندگی بھر، ہاتھوں کو اپنے اکثر کہتے تھے ملک حیدر، خیبر شکن کی زوجہ، خیبر شکن کی زوجہ گھٹ گھٹ کے مر گئی ہے، یہ غربت علی ہے، یہ غربت، سب مل کے رب میں بولا بلند آواز میں، غربت علی ہے، یہ غربت علی ہے، یہ غربت علی ہے، یہ غربت علی ہے. کیسے لکھے تکلم غربت علی ولی کی، زوجہ صحابیوں کے دربار میں گئی تھی، بیٹی شرابیوں کے، بیٹی شرابیوں کے دربار میں گئی ہے. یہ غربت علی ہے، یہ غربت علی ہے، یہ غربت علی ہے، یہ غربت علی ہے. یا فاطمہ زہرا یا ام ابیہا، یا فاطمہ زہرا یا ام ابیہا، یا فاطمہ ماشاء اللہ یا ام ابیہا، یا فاطمہ زہرا میں ابیہا. حق مانگنے دربار میں بلوایا گیا ہے، یہ اجر رسالت تمہیں امت نے دیا ہے. تم روئی تو ہنستے رہے، کیا ظلم کیا ہوا گنبد خضرا. یا فاطمہ زہرا یا ام ابیہا، یا ایک ایک سب قبول کریں آپ سب کا، یا ام ابیہا ہے، یا فاطمہ زہرا ابیہا. کیا ظلم و ستم تم پہ ہم مخدوم عالم، دن شب میں بدل جائے اگر سہے تیرا غم، کیوں کرنا زادار کرے نو ماتم. کم ہے حلق تیری اور پرسا. یا فاطمہ زہرا یا ام ابیہا ہے، یا فاطمہ ام ابیہا، یا فاطمہ زہرا ابیہا. عالم کے لیے آیا نبی بن کے جو رحمان، ان پہ اسی کے ہی ہوئی کیسی قیامت. محسن کی شہادت کا سبب بن گئی امت، جو ہوئے کو جلا. ماشاء اللہ یا ام ابیہا، یا فاطمہ زہرا ابیہا. تو فرش غم فاطمہ زہرا بچھائے، جب خاک اڑاتی تھی ہر قسم ہوائے، تینوں ہوا شہر مدینہ کی فضائے. پہلو پہ گرایا یا زہرا میں ابیہا یا فاطمہ زہرا. سب مل کے الوداع کی شب پیش کرو. اے یا فاطمہ زہرا یا ابیہا. سلمان لکھوں کیسے قیامت کا وہ منظر، حق مانگنے دربار گئی پھر پیغمبر. بدبخت شقی بیٹھا رہا تخت کے اوپر، پڑھتے سر عرش یہ لوحہ یا فاطمہ زہرا یا ام ابیہا یا فاطمہ زہرا یا ام ابیہا یا فاطمہ یا ام ابیہا. محمد وعلی محمد بلندر صاحب. حکم کی تعمیل میں دعا کے چند اشعار آپ کے سماعت کے نظر پیش کرنا چاہوں گا. عباس یا بالفضل العباس. عباس یا بالفضل العباس. سقائے حضور کھلے محرم ہم پر بھی تمہارے آئے ہیں. مل کے پڑھیں. سقائے حضور کھلے محرم ہم پر بھی تمہارے آئے ہیں. تم بھی نہیں ہم کو ٹھکرانا، تم بھی نہیں ہم کو ٹھکرانا، ہم دنیا کے ٹھکرائے ہیں. عباس اب سارے سہارے ٹوٹ چکے، ہم اپنے پرائے لوٹ چکے. اب سارے سہارے ٹوٹ چکے، ہم اپنے پرائے لوٹ چکے. تم اپنی پناہوں میں لے لو، تم اپنی پناہوں میں لے لو. ہم غم سے بہت گھبرائے ہیں. عباس یا بالفضل. اشکوں کی زبان پہچانتے ہو، جو دل میں ہے وہ جانتے ہو. اشکوں کی زبان پہچانتے ہو، جو دل میں ہے وہ جانتے ہو. ہم کہہ نہیں سکتے تم سن لو، ہم کہہ نہیں سکتے تم سن لو. بس ہاتھوں کو پھیلائے ہیں. عباس یا بالفضل. اور مولا 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 تم باد ہوائج ہو، روزے پہ انہیں بھی بلوا لو. مولا تم باد ہوائج ہو، روزے پہ انہیں بھی بلوا لو. غربت کے سبب جو آ نہ سکے، غربت کے سبب جو آ نہ سکے ہم ان کے عریضے لائے ہیں عباس عباس یا بالفضل کھا کھا کے تماچے روتی ہے زندہ کی خاک پہ سوتی ہے کھا کھا کے تماچے روتی ہے زندہ کی خاک پہ سوتی ہے بجھ جائے پیاس سکینہ کی ہم آنکھوں میں آنسو لائے ہیں سقائے حرم کھلے نہ بھرم ہم در پہ تمہارے آئے ہیں سب مل کے ایک بات عباس عباس یا بالفضل العباس
برائے تاجیل ظہور امام زمانہ بلند تر سلام.
توجہ ذرا السلام علیکم یا رسول اللہ السلام علیکم یا امیر المؤمنین السلام علیکم یا فاطمة الزہراء سیدۃ النساء العالمین السلام علیکم یا حسن المجتبی ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ السلام علیکم یا ابا عبد اللہ وعلی الارواح التي حلت بفنائک عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين خصوصا سيدي ومولاي أبا الفضل العباس بن أمير المؤمنين وقاسم بن الحسن ومسلم بن أخيل وهاني بن أولوى وحبيب بن مظاهر والهر الشهيد لله السلام عليكم يا شهداء كربلاء جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك يا شمس الشموس وأنيس النفوس أيها المدفون بأرض توس الرضا المرتضى الراضي بالقدر والقضاء مولانا علي بن موسى الرضا كن شفيعنا وشفيع والدي في يوم الجزاء وفقنا الله لزيارتك يا مولا ورزقنا الله شفاعتك في الدنيا والآخرة وعلى أختك فاطمة المعصومة جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك يا مولانا يا صاحب الأسر والزمان الأمان 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 السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن السلام عليك يا إمامنا وإمام الإنس والجان ورحمة الله وبركاته اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وخائزا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرزك توأ وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين على أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات صواب الفاتحة